Hello all, it's your girl Israel. I was coming to you today regarding a dream I had last night about a fear that I conquered. I didn't even realize that what was going on until I got finished with the dream and I woke up. And it was just like a whole relief. So just to give you a quick synopsis about the dream, I was lost. Those who know me, always. But I was lost in my dream and I got lost in a place that they spoke Spanish. I don't know if it's a town, country, I don't know which dialect, but it was a place that they spoke Spanish at. And I was actually able to not comprehend it, not fully understand where they was communicating with me in Spanish and I was responding in the same dialect. I wasn't. However, I was able to communicate. I was able to understand in some ways. Don't really know what that meant about it, but we'll get into that later. So what happened was I got lost in a dream and I kept trying to figure out how do I get home, and I felt like I was in danger. So I found a phone, kept trying to call anyone, and the only number I remember is my younger sister Matia's number. So I was trying to call her, and when I was talking to her, she was like, well, why don't you do, like, she was giving me different advice, do this, do that, try this, but every advice she gave me was not helpful enough to get me out of there. So I couldn't rely on her. I could not rely on family. Not that she wasn't trying, but I just couldn't rely on the information she was providing me because it was not helpful. And I'm like, oh, who else do I call? How do I get out of here? And I was just worried. So I was, just going through a lower energy situation. And at some point there was two men that was coming in town, like an old Western movie. They came to town and there was like bad man with guns, and they was threatening everyone in the town. So everyone was scared of them. Everyone looked at them like they were like El Diablo. Like they were just the devil, like themselves. They were functioning off that energy of being evil. And something happened. Don't remember what happened, but I was running. I started running. Me and a young lady found a store, and there was only space for one of us to hide behind a desk. And I allowed her to hide behind the desk, and I just sat up in the chair. Not that I wasn't scared, but I allowed her to have that space. And I wasn't fighting for her. I just told her, hide right there. And I was in the chair and I just did this as he walked in, like, if I couldn't see you, you can't see me, kind of like a child. So I was hiding like this. And while I was sitting in the chair, eyes closed, and the guy walked into the store and he shot once. And I felt this is how it felt to me. I've never been shot, so I don't know. But I felt the energy of the numbness, and then of coldness, and then of not leakage, but felt like something was leaving. But I was like, it's not my spirit. I said, I'm not going. It's not my time. I'm not going. So he left, and I waited there for a while. I didn't want to wait too long because I figured if I waited too long that my spirit would leave my body and I would be done. So I just waited long enough for him to be gone. And the young lady was like, are you okay? Okay. And I realized I was okay. So I was like, well, if it's not me and I felt like that, is it her? Is she okay? And she was okay. So I'm like, what happened? Don't know what happened, but I felt like I was shot and I was not shot. So I got out and we both left, and we kept trying to find help, and we kept saying, call 911. We was trying to find anyone. We kept trying to tell everybody, call 911, and, just to at least get the cops to get the guy. And not one officer, not a sheriff, not no police from nowhere. None of them showed up. I'm sorry. I'm drinking my tea. So none of them showed up. And we just kept going around the town trying to figure out, how do I get out of here? And she was helping me. And it got to the point that I ran into one of the guys that was wielding a gun. And I don't know how. I just got the gun and I broke it. He had two. I took the other one. I broke that one too. How did I break gun? I don't know. But I broke it and I kept smashing it and it broke into pieces. So he no longer had guns to threaten the city, the town, I should say. It was a town. He no longer had guns to threaten the town. And with that being gone, it allowed everyone to team up and fight him and kill him. That was one. The other gentleman, he was a little bit more feared than the first one. So everyone was still on the run, like hide, run, and all that. So at some point, I managed to kill him. I managed to get his knife. When I found him, I was no longer in fear. I knew that I couldn't offer nothing. Normally in most of my dreams, I'm a runner. I don't know why, but I'm usually a runner and I'm fast. I'm always able to get away from things and nothing can touch me, nothing can harm me. I'm always a runner in my dreams. But this dream would not allow me to run. I couldn't run. I couldn't negotiate. I couldn't offer up anything to prevent my life from being taken. I couldn't do nothing but fight. And I was like, fight or flight. There's no more flight. It was only fight. So with that, what I did was I fought. And somehow I got the knife out of his hands and I cut him from his left to right throat. I cut his throat from left to right. And while I was doing that, I was praying for him. I didn't feel I was doing anything wrong. The energy within did not feel like I was doing anything wrong. I was making sure that not only was I safe, but I was also protecting the town. I didn't feel like there was anything that made me feel I was doing anything wrong. However, I knew that his spirit needed that prayer because it was leaving this dimension, or at least that dimension of where we were in the dream. So as I was killing him, I was watching his throat open, and it was like a relief to me. And it was like me killing my fear. It was like me removing the fear that I've had. And it wasn't just the fear of him. It felt like other fears, like whatever was holding me down, whatever was I don't want to say tormenting me because I really don't have torments, but in my dream, it just felt like all energy. And I don't want to say negative because negative is feminine, but I'll say bad energies, like whatever bad energies that was holding me down in any way, everything was releasing in that moment. And I laid him down and he was done. And everyone felt a sense of relief. Everyone in town felt a sense of relief. Like they was able to breathe again. An easy breath. Not a breath of fear, not a breath of what's going to happen. We didn't worry about if a cop came. We didn't worry about what if anyone, his family came. Like nothing bothered us anymore. We were relieved. And that being said, I was wondering why in my dream was I okay with harming someone? Because normally I wouldn't. I would offer up anything before I harm someone. I would run away before I felt like I have to put hands on somebody or harm them in any way. But it no longer allowed me to do that. It made me realize that it is time to face every fear, not just some fears, the fears that are known and unknown. We have fears that are known and unknown. Did you know that? We'll walk around and say, oh, I don't fear nothing. I'm not worried about nothing. Nothing can touch me, this, that, and the third. But there's things that you probably have not even encountered and don't realize that you have fear of it until it is in your present. That's the unknown. It's time to address and face the fears of the known and unknown and release ourselves of it. I was so thankful for that dream. I was so thankful because as I woke up, it felt like that energy of relief was on me. Like I released everything. And when I say, I'm like, oh, I'm ready for the day. I'm ready for this, that, and the third. And it really felt like whatever it was, it took away some fears. And I'm like, well, what was I fearing? The reason why I feel like I'm relieved right now. And I don't know. An immediate fear. I don't know, which means it was of the unknown. Wherever it came from, I send it back. Wherever it come from, send it back to sender. And you get ready to face the fears of your known and unknown. No longer negotiate, no longer run from it, no longer hide. It is something that needs to be dealt with. And you deal with it in whichever way you can possible, and you keep moving. Release yourself from all that energy of fear. Release yourself from that lower chakra, that lower energy of danger, of wondering if security is like, if your security is being challenged or if it's being met. You just make sure that you just walk with your head high and walk with the energy of, I'm doing this. This is not going to do me. I'm going to make it short because I have a meeting in a few moments, but I just wanted to share that with you. Get rid of your fears of the known and unknown. Release yourself from it. Love you. Take care. Till next time.